Hey everybody, Prepper Nurse 1 here. So you're probably wondering why we're staring at this tree. Well, you see this right here? This is pine resin or pine sap, okay? And when a tree is injured, what it does is it leaks out the pine resin or pine sap. It is antibacterial, okay? So it helps the tree so that it can heal and not be infected. So that's really, really important, okay? Uh, so what can we use pine sap for? Well, there's absolutely a tremendous amount of uses that you can use it for, and I'm going to go over some of them right now, okay? If you have a wound and you are sick, the best way to do it is you're going to take your pine sap and you want to bring it to a boil, because it's very, very, once it hardens, you know, it's very solid, but it's also, like I said, it's very, very sticky, okay? But you'd want to take it and bring it to a boil. Now you need to be careful with that because it's also very highly flammable. Okay, so it's very important to be careful with that. Okay, uh, so once you get it to that point, you're going to filter it. Once you get it to a liquid, you want to filter that through like like a sieve or something like that, because you want to get rid of your the bark and any kind of dirt that's in there. So that you just want the pine sap itself. Okay, it is an anti-inflammatory as well, and because it's so sticky, it helps close wounds up as well. So it's a really, really good thing to use if you have a wound and stuff like that. So once you have drained it and stuff like that, you can mix it with olive oil, and then you want to bring that up to a boil again, and you know, get it to it more, you know, so it's worked together. And then you can also add beeswax to make it firm. So then you have a really, really good way to treat wounds and stuff like that, okay? You can also take the pine sap and make a pine sap lamp. So you take a rock, and you would take that rock and you would put some moss in the rock, and then you would take like the resin here, this resin that's on the outside of the tree, and you're going to pull that off, and you're going to put that around the outside of the moss, and then you're going to light that on fire. And there, because you're kind of using the moss as like your wick. Now, once that sap burns down, you just add more sap, and there's a nice little pine sap lamp that you can use. So, like I said, but remember, you can always add more sap on it after you get to that point. Okay. You can make pine patch glue as well, because, like I said, it's very, very sticky, and the resin it's perfect. It's like I said, it's waterproof. You know, you can use it. You can use it on the seams of your boots, is like for waterproofing, and so, you know, it's really, really good for those type of things. You can, you know, if you're out in nature and your boots are leaky, you get that pine sap, and if you get it on the outside of your boots, it's going to seal that up, because, like I said, it's a great waterproofing. Okay, you can also use it. Let's see. You can use, okay, so now if you wanted to make a pine patch torch, what you would do is you would take a stick, and you're going to wrap either fabric, like from like a shirt, or you can use rope around that, and then you're going to take the resin. Oh, of course, now I'm ringing here. I'll call him back. You're going to take that and wrap that around, or put that on the resin or on top of that, and you can light that, and there you have your torch. Okay, so it's a really good way to do that too. Like I said, the resin is very, very highly flammable. Also, like I said, I talked about you can use it for. Now, there used to be a thing that you could do, is making pine tar soap, and again, it's really, really good because of the antibacterial properties in it. A lot of people obviously don't use it anymore. If you're looking to make it, you just look online. There's all kinds of ways to make the pine tar soap, so that you can look that right up, you know, through Google or whatnot. So like I said, I talked about waterproofing too, but you can also use it to waterproof boats. You can also use it to waterproof buckets and stuff like that. If you have a leak in a bucket, you take that the pine tar, like that, or the sap, the pine sap, I'm sorry, and use that, and that's going to help seal that up. So this stuff is like really, let's see if this is, okay, that's harder than a rock right now, but it's, now if you see I pushed on it and it moves, so I would just pull that off, and then you could use that for any of those things that I said. So if you're out in nature and you cut yourself, and let's say you can't filter it and all that type of stuff, even if you just take this and put it on that wound, that's going to help treat that wound and help that wound get cleaned up. So that's real important. I mean, it's just a really good thing to know. Pine trees actually do have a lot of good uses. I mean, we don't burn pine in the Northeast. We burn hardwoods. I know on the West Coast they have pretty much nothing but pine, and that's what they burn. We don't burn it here because we have high hardwoods here in the Northeast. So pine, it's like it clogs up your chimney and all that type of stuff, and you're going to have to do more cleaning and stuff like that. So that's why we don't use it for that, aspect of it. But like I said, pine trees, they're all over the place. You can get that resin, and it has a tremendous amount of uses. As long as you can get a fire going, you can utilize that. And like I said, if you need to make a torch, you can make a torch. If you need to, treat a wound, you can treat a wound. Close a wound up so it doesn't stay open. Like I said, waterproof your boots. And I'm going to tell you what, there's been plenty of times I've been out and about and my feet got wet, and I'm going to tell you what, that really truly sucks. So if you could have something like that to seal up your seams so that your boots aren't going to get wet, and even put a layer of it over the top of your boots, it's going to help your feet, and your feet will thank you for that. So I wanted to do a video on that today, talking about pine resin, and and what the uses are. And there's a lot of really good uses for that. So I hope you like the video. Remember, like, comment, share. If you hit the icon button, once you've subscribed to the channel, if you like what we're doing here. And but there's a lot of really good information out there as far as different things in nature that can really help you in a survival situation that a lot of people don't think about. And that would be one thing I think a lot of people don't think about, how that little thing like pine resin can have so many uses. Like I said, getting a fire, once you got the fire going, and using that as a torch and whatnot, and it's gonna, so there's always going to be that out there. And so you just grab it off the tree, and there you go. So anyway, guys, I hope you liked the video. Like I said, if you have any thoughts, please share them below. I would love to hear your feedback. I always like to hear what people have to say. And so that's it. So we're going to kick this around one more time just so I can show you these again here. But for whatever reason, this tree had some damage. It had some damage here, and you can see more of the resin and stuff down here. So I'm not sure exactly what happened to this tree, but it's healing itself, and that's what it does. It releases that so that it can heal itself. And especially, like, now, right now it's real pliable. I don't know if you can see that when I'm touching it. It's moving around. But man, I'll tell you what, this stuff, sticky as you would not believe. I had it on my panels last year from the pine tree that I had that was over here, and it was I had pine resin on the panels, and it's a nightmare to try to get off of there. It's really sticky. So like I said, it's a great thing to use if you utilize it in a proper way. So, but anyhow, so that being said, we're done with this video. I hope you like it. Remember, guys, hug and kiss the ones you love. Tell them every single day. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. We never know what's going to happen. Life is so short and it's so precious. So it's real important to tell the people how you feel about, that you care about what you think. So that, I always like to talk about that because I think that that's really important. And remember, STD. It's one step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. Whatever you're trying to do, whatever you're trying to accomplish, you can do it. The only one that's going to stop you from getting there is yourself. Nobody else can do it, okay? So that's something to think about too. And stay away from negativity. Negative people want to bring you down to their level because they're miserable and unhappy, and they would like you to be that same way. Well, choose not to be, okay? So anyway, guys, I'm going to jump off of here. I hope everybody's having a great day. I will talk to you all tomorrow. Prepper Nurse 1, out for now.